Hi everyone. Can everyone hear me? If you want, can you give me a thumbs up? Yes, see me? Okay, perfect. Well, welcome and good evening. I'm so excited that you guys are here to join our Florida webinar today. And we're very excited as we have three special guest speakers who I'm going to introduce to you in a bit. And we're going to make the next, it's going to be maybe another hour or so of the presentation, but we're going to make sure it's super informative for you, whether you're thinking of buying an investment property in Florida or a vacation home, or if you're thinking of this to possibly become a snowbird sometime in the future. You're going to find all the information very helpful to you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Puja Aggarwal. I am the owner and founder of KAPS Realty Group. I have been in real estate for the last 15 years. How I started, a little bit about my history. I have an MBA and a BBA from one of the top business schools in Canada called Schulich School of Business, where I actually specialized in real estate development. From there, I got recruited by a company called Smart Centers. If you guys know that company, it basically builds all the box stores in Canada that has the Walmarts, and I worked under the VP of Acquisitions and Dispositions there. So I've got a lot of retail plaza experience as well in the commercial area. Now this was 15 years ago, so the time that I was working there, the year was around 2009, and does everyone know what happened in 2009 in the US? You can kind of type in the chat box. I know we can't really talk to each other here. So type it in the chat box. And you're absolutely right. There was the US recession. So things were super cheap in the US, a lot of foreclosures happening. And what happened at that time was one of the developers in Florida approached me and said, Pooja, you know what? You're in real estate. Properties are 30 cents on the dollar right now. Why don't you market these properties to your friends and family and clients that you have in Canada? Because it's an excellent opportunity. Now, we already owned property, me and my family in Florida. We've actually been owning property there for the last 20 years. So I knew how good of a deal this was. And I literally wanted to get out of the corporate world. So that was the day I quit my job and I opened KAPS Realty Group. And since then, we've been helping hundreds of Canadians buy property in the Sunshine State of Florida. And we've been helping them have that lifestyle that they want, where they can spend the winters there as a snowbird or have investment in USD funds. So if this is something that sounds interesting to you, again, you're in the right spot. And I'm going to go into a little bit more about KAPS Realty Group and what we do. But before we do that, I'm going to introduce our three special guest speakers that are here with us today, all the way from Orlando, Florida. So if everyone could just say a quick hi. I'm going to start with Maria from Madame Homes. If we can just spotlight Maria. Hi, Maria. Welcome.
Hi, how are you? Thank you. Nice to be
Thank
here.
you so much for joining us. So Maria's actually going to present one of our first projects for us in a bit. Second, we have Miss Kendra from Zenodra Homes. Hi, Kendra. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you so much, Kendra, for joining us, and we'll hear from you in a bit as well. And last
Perfect.
but not
Thank you
least,
for having
we have
us.
Mr. Nick from Orlando, Florida.
Hi everyone, I'm just getting my video camera started, so I'll be up in a minute. Nice to meet you.
So Nick is actually traveling right now. He's going to be doing this call from the airport from us, but he has an amazing project that I want you all to hear about. So we'll get back to you, Nick, in a bit, but thank you so much. So let's get right into it. I'm going to share my screen with everybody and we'll get this presentation started. Okay, can everyone see the slides? Yes, thumbs up? Okay, perfect. So let's get started. The agenda for today, we're basically going to start with a little bit about KAPS Realty Group and how we can help you with both your properties in Toronto as well as in Florida. Then we're going to get into our services that we offer to make the investment or the purchase very easy for you. Thirdly, we'll go into why Florida, why Central Florida in particular we recommend. We'll go into a little bit of the Florida market stats, what's currently happening. We will then get into our three top projects. Now, we have many projects that we represent in Central Florida. We're choosing three of our top ones today to go over. If it's something else that you want to see, we can definitely do that after this webinar. And then lastly, we'll go into our fly and buy program and then end it off with a whole 10, 15, or 20 minutes, however long you need, of questions and answers. Because I know anytime we present Florida, there's tons of questions, especially for Canadians who might be venturing to the US for the first time. So let's get started. Who is KAPS Realty Group? KAPS Realty Group, our brokerage, KAPS, stands for Knowledgeable Agents and Professional Service. This is our mission statement. This is what we hold dear to us. We want to make sure that any clients of ours, not only do they have a long-term relationship with us, but we want to make sure we're fully black and white, professional, and ensure that their portfolios are managed properly. Anything to do with basically real estate that they need help with, we're here for them. Now there's two markets that we service, like I gave you a little bit of an idea. We've got the Greater Toronto area where we have tons of projects right now, as well as Florida where we do Orlando and Miami. And in the future, we're actually looking into adding another state here. So stay tuned and we'll tell you a little bit of details about that. Now what we do, we basically have 5 divisions at KAPS Realty Group. Our team takes care of residential resale properties here throughout the GTA. We also do pre-construction projects. So in the last 5 years, we've actually become one of the top 25 pre-construction brokerages in the GTA. So we have very good relationships with a lot of builders and developers here to get you guys the best deals and the best locations. Our third division is commercial real estate in the GTA, where we mainly do retail plazas, industrial properties, as well as we're getting into land development too. And then our 4th and 5th division is combined. Those are both in Florida. So one section where we do our residential properties, which is what we're going to focus in on today, our vacation homes and investment properties. And then our 5th division is commercial property in Florida. So if you're looking into multifamilies, hotels, or land development, that's our next phase and what we're starting to focus in on. So if that's something that interests you, you want to invest it with us or be part of our group, do chat with us after this presentation, and I would love to go over details with the commercial side of things. But today, the focus is on Florida residential properties and vacation homes. Meet our wonderful team. We are a boutique brokerage, and every single one of our team members is super professional. Not only do they have a university degree or a minimum of 2 to 5 years of real estate experience, but each one of us, what's unique about us is that we all own our own investment properties. So we have our skin in the game before we suggest anything to our clients. So we know exactly what you're going through, and we know exactly how to handle investment properties. Now, what are our services and what's different about us when we offer you Florida properties? Our cross-border services basically are your one-stop shop. We do everything for you in terms of connecting you with the best property management companies. We have closing and title lawyers that we can offer you for depending on which type of properties you purchase. We have cross-border accountants that we've worked with for the last 15 years on both sides of the border that can help you file your US taxes as well as your Canadian returns. We've got on-site contractors. So of course, if you own any property anywhere, if something happens, something has to get fixed last minute, we've got contacts that we can provide you with to make that transition a lot smoother. I can't read this. Oh, insurance contacts, that was just something you definitely need when buying property in Florida. Mortgage contacts, we help you with the US financing side. So we do deal with 4 Canadian banks that are based out of Florida, which you all might recognize. They all have branches in Florida. One's TD Bank, one is RBC Bank, one is CIBC Bank, and then you have Nat Bank, which is actually a branch out of National Bank. And they all have Canadian programs that help you finance your property in the US. We also help you open up your US bank account with them. And then lastly, we've got foreign exchange partners here in Toronto that usually offer rates cheaper than the bank to exchange your money into US funds. So if you can save a few $1,000s, why not? And lastly, our development partners, we have over the last 15 years made amazing builder and development relationships in Florida, and they are there to support you. So now getting into our team in Florida. If you end up going to Florida and seeing the properties before purchasing, or you want to just see what kind of projects we do have a team on the ground over there that can help you out, take you around, and give you full guidance from the Central Florida perspective. So that's all there is about us. Let's get right into the Florida stats now. Number one slide, and this is actually a wholesome slide all about why Florida is your next growth opportunity for you if you're considering anywhere in the US. Sometimes I get this question asked a lot, there's so many other states in the US, why Florida? So why we love Florida and why we own property in Florida is it's a growing state. When I started doing these seminars 15 years ago, that time Florida was actually the fourth largest state in the US. Now, over the last 3 years, believe it or not, we have surpassed New York population-wise and have become the third largest state. So that on its own speaks a lot, because if the population's growing, your property values are growing as well, right? And that's what our next picture here is showing, the population surge. There's actually been a 1.4% increase year over year of people coming into Florida. Now, before, Canadians used to actually be the number one buyers of Florida property, and that's changed now. Now we actually have more South Americans buying property in Florida because the proximity, and they've got a lot of money, and they're actually coming in all cash. And I'm sure a lot of the builders can tell you exactly what's happening on that front. So you got a lot of demand in Florida, especially after COVID. A lot of people are working from home. They want to be in the sunshine. They want to have that option and that lifestyle that they've all kind of imagined. So there's a lot of influx happening in Florida. Naturally, real estate values have been appreciating. Now your median home price is actually $400,000 in Florida, and it used to be close to $300,000. And you've also got really good, strong rental demand. And this I want to really point out to those of you who are planning to rent out your property in Florida. I can't tell you how easy it is to rent out property there. What makes it different than Ontario is that 50% of the population in Florida actually rents home versus owns property there. Whereas in Toronto, the ratio is 30% of people rent and the rest are owners. So you've got a bigger transient population in Florida because a lot of people are there on contract jobs between, the Disney World parks and other jobs, and they're kind of just switching around 2 to 3 years or go to a different state, etc. So because of that, you've got really good rental demand. Now you've got a diverse education landscape there too. Two of the top universities are in Florida. You've got University of Miami as well as University of Central Florida, which is right in Orlando. And lastly, you've got tax benefits. The reason why so many corporations are moving to Florida is because they save on state income tax. And because of this, they are moving their head offices over, and that's creating a lot of jobs and a lot of demand for the area. So now let's get into Orlando and why we recommend Orlando over all the other areas in Florida. Now, if you do want a property anywhere else in Florida, we do have partners that we work with in South Florida, in Tampa, in Naples, even in Jacksonville. We can help you out there. But our main focus is Orlando, and that's where we actually own a lot of our property. And I'll give you reasons why. It's done phenomenal, and I feel there's a lot more benefit in owning in Central Florida. Number one, why do we all want a property in Florida is you always think that this is the number one employer that you see over there, Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, right? Yes, Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse bring 55 million visitors a year and over $30 billion in visitor spending, but Orlando's actually more than just the parks. They've got a huge industry of healthcare, as well as the film industry is very big there as well. Advent Health itself is the second largest employer after Walt Disney World. And then you have a lot of head offices such as Lockheed Martin, as well as Southwest Airlines that are based out of Orlando. Now, why do a lot of these head offices come to Orlando rather than going to different parts of Florida? Well, the next slide is going to answer that for you. And this slide shows you exactly where Orlando is situated in Florida. If you look at it, we've got the circle right here, dead in the center of the state. And what makes this so interesting is two things. Number one, when you're positioned in the center of the state, you become a distribution hub. You drive through almost 2.5 to 3 hours north, you will hit Tallahassee. You drive 2.5 to 3 hours south, you've got Miami. So within a 3-hour radius, you can literally visit the entire state. So head offices and companies love this. Not only that, the second reason why I love Central Florida and Orlando in particular is one of the biggest natural disaster risks that occur in Florida, we all know, is hurricanes, right? You've all heard of the hurricanes that came in the last few weeks, Helen and Milton. And if you research, Orlando was not really hit as hard. Why is that? Orlando, if you see, is inland. So by the time any hurricane, like a category 3, 4, 5, comes onto the shore and makes its way inland, it loses a lot of its power and just becomes more like a tropical storm. So there's very minimal damage. And this is really important as an investment or any purchase in Florida, because you want to make sure not only is your property protected, but money-wise, insurance-wise, A, can you get insurance? And B, is it cheaper? It definitely is cheaper than the rest of the states. And insurance companies know this, so they offer this to you. You can kind of take in an example, like for instance, Disney World. I'm sure a lot of you have never heard of Disney World get hit by a hurricane, right? And there's a reason they chose to be in Orlando is because of that safety. So this is the reason I mainly love Orlando. Like we've had property, our clients have tons of property in Orlando, and over the last month or so with these hurricanes, knock on wood, nothing has been affected and everyone is well and all their properties are well as well. So this is a really, really key point and a reason why I tell people, a lot of people are like, oh, you know what, Puja, I want properties on the coast. I want to be next to the beach. That's wonderful. You can have property there if you've got maybe excess money or you don't mind, dealing with the higher insurance cost or possibly having no insurance on your property, then yes, we can definitely get you property there. But if numbers is your concern and if you're looking at this as an investment, Orlando makes the most sense. Now, I don't know if a lot of you know this, Orlando is actually home to the second largest convention center as well, after Vegas. So a lot of conventions happen here, and why we mention this is it also brings a lot of traffic into the city. In fact, there's 1.4 million attendees that come every single year, adding over $2 billion of revenue to the city. You've also got the Amway Center, which has just recently been renamed as the Kia Center. So do we have any basketball fans in our audience today? If yes, say yes in the chat. If so, you've got the Orlando Magic that plays over here. So you've got lots going on in downtown Orlando. Do we have any beach fans in the room? I should see everyone's hands up, right? We all want the beach, especially being in Canada here, now that the weather is getting colder. So from Orlando, the closest beaches are approximately an hour away, and you have tons of choice. Like I've been to New Smyrna Beach, Daytona Beach. Within an hour, you can get there. And then if you want more variety, you have literally 20 other beaches within 2 to 3 hours away. All right, so which is really nice. And usually on the weekend, that's where a majority of the city kind of heads over to the beach. Now, if we have any golfers in the room, Orlando is a golf course haven. You've got some of the most beautiful courses in Orlando, and this draws a lot of tourism as well. And lastly, Orlando has actually just opened a brand new high-speed rail that connects South Florida to basically Central Florida. And it has been doing phenomenal. Me and my husband have been on it. Absolutely loved it. It's so convenient. You literally can get all your work done, within the 2.5 hours it takes you, and it's just making everything a lot more convenient. So this has allowed travel to be easier from the south to Central Florida. And this is going to also increase more demand and more housing in Central Florida because now you've got easy access to the south, which is the financial hub basically of Florida. So there you have it. That's about Orlando and Florida. Let's get right into the residential projects that we're going to be presenting today. And as we present them, I'm sure a lot of other questions are going to come up. And how we're going to approach this is after every project, we'll open the floor to one or two project related questions, and then all general questions we'll take at the end of this. So at this time, I would love to call on Miss Maria. And Maria is going to actually present one of my favorite communities in Mattamy, in Orlando, sorry, by Mattamy Homes, which is called Solera. And how I want to introduce this project is if you're looking for a project that's very comparable to a Disney resort where you have all the amenities, you're looking for a gated community, you've got, a basketball court, two pools, bar, restaurant, movie theater, volleyball court, all that all in one and like on-site services. This is the community you want to pay attention to. So Maria, I would love to call you in. We're going to highlight you here if you want to take over the floor.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So Solara is actually really, really conveniently located. It's actually about 9 miles to Disney's back door. So you would actually go in through the back side of Disney if you wanted to get in. We are really centrally located. We've got basically about 2 blocks away. You've got everything that someone that would be renting your property and staying in your property would have access to. Grocery stores, pharmacies, restaurants, gas stations, everything at your fingertips as far as close by to where they don't have to drive very far or go very far. They could even walk if they wanted to. Our community actually started back in 2016-17. This community has 3 phases. We've already sold phase 1 and phase 2. Our last and final phase is phase 3. We have all the amenities that Puja was referring to. We have a kiddie pool, we have a regular pool, we have a bar, we have a fully supplied gym. We also have a wave pool, which is kind of nice that the cruise ships have. So you could actually, your renters could learn how to surf in their stay. We have full service bar, restaurant, all the amenities you could possibly need and want and more. Something for the little ones and something for the bigger ones, shall we say. We have 7 floor plans. We have 3 that are townhome floor plans that are in between 4 to 6 bedrooms. And we have 4 single family homes that are 6 to 9 bedrooms. So it just depends what size home you're looking for. Owners, when purchase, they would actually go ahead and hire a management company, being that you are from Canada and probably not going to be here, living here. You would hire a management company to go ahead and take care of renting, cleaning, changing sheets, everything that would entail for a new renter to come in. And as far as Airbnb purposes, you would go ahead and pick whichever company you'd want. We can refer a couple of names to you if need be. However, we don't handle that aspect of it. We just handle the building and the purchase as far as that goes. The ranges in price are anywhere from $570 for the smallest townhome, all the way up to the 9-bedroom being around $960, $970. So it just depends on, again, what you like, what you want, and what you need. You are more than welcome to come and stay in your home. You would just need to go ahead and black out the time with your management company so they know that you're coming and they don't rent it out and have somebody knocking on your door. The maximum amount of stay on one reservation would be 30 days. That's not to say you can't make multiple reservations and stay longer, being that you're coming from a further distance. Let's see. Right now, we have some great incentives for the community. All of our homes are inventory at this point. We have spec'd out everything, so we've already picked out everything. Those incentives right now, if you can close before November, the end of November, you're looking at $100,000 incentive. So it's great, and you can use it however you need to. Again, we're so centrally located, literally in the heart of Central Florida. You're so close to Disney. You might even be able to see the fireworks on Disney's back door. You're close to the highways as well, which is so important. in Central Florida. You've got the new 429 as well that goes even further out to downtown Orlando. So you could be in downtown Orlando in less than half an hour, actually, depending on the traffic, of course. And again, you're 8 to 9 miles away from Disney. So you're in Disney's back door. So the value for your property is going to hold, which is, I think, one of the most important things. Disney's not going anywhere anytime soon, literally. And again, you have all the outlets and all the shopping and everything else that you could possibly need at your fingertips. We do have a lot of foreigners that come and stay on property. Right now, we've noticed that it's a lot of Brazilians, it's a lot of Colombians, Canadians as well. And again, our company was originally founded in Canada, which is always nice. So we have a little Canadian tie with you all. The amenities, like I said, we have all the stuff as far as we have the bar, we have the wave pool, the gym, the soccer field, anything that a kid could probably want to do, they could find it here, literally. So you shouldn't have any problem with the kiddos entertaining themselves, and a little for the adults as well. We are, like I said, we are closing out our last phase. The last phase has about 218 units. And we have sold over 30% already of that final phase. So now would be definitely the time to get in. This home here, this is one of our coastal facades. We have 2 facades that we do. It's either modern or coastal. And this would be a 6 or 7 bedroom with the 1-car garage. And then we also have our 50-foot product, which is an 8 and 9 bedroom product with a 2-car garage.
So for that one, Ashley Maria, I've got a video. I'll play
Oh,
it.
you do? Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
This is an
Awesome.
8-bedroom home. To
Okay,
give you an
great.
idea.
So that would be our modern finish. Each unit comes with a pool, and depending on the size of the home, you would have, your varying sizes of a pool. We put all the bells and whistles into the home. We spec it out to where it's pretty much everything an owner, if you were living there, you would want. The higher ceilings, the cabinets with the crown molding, the granite countertops, backsplash, the tile flooring, all the fun stuff, all the appliances are included in the home. It's pretty much ready to go for you. Now, when you do purchase, it would be purchased without furniture. That would be up to the owner to go ahead and furnish to their liking, or have one of the management companies. A lot of them, what they offer are packages that the owner could pick to go ahead and design and decorate the home. A lot of owners like the themes, like the Disney theme or the Universal theme, stuff like that would entice a renter even more to rent with them. And again, we have all the finishes. You have the recessed lighting, you have the bigger windows, the bigger doors, everything pretty much at your fingertips as far as upgraded and ready for you to move in or stay. And then also our 2-color combination for the cabinets and the granite countertops are going to be either white cabinets with a black and white marble granite, or they're going to be gray, a light gray cabinet with a white granite. And then there's several homes that actually have an espresso finish with white granite countertops as well.
Okay.
And also, even our townhomes have pools. So each unit comes with a pool. Correct. There you go. Now you can see it.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. So yeah, I mean, right now would be a great time to buy. There's not that many communities that are around that do the short-term rental, vacational. Right now, you're close to Disney, so it's a need and a want. Everybody wants to stay close to Disney and have access to Disney. And we have a lot of families that want to travel, reunions, they come together, and pretty much everybody wants to stay together and save money at the end of the day, because they have a kitchen and they can cook and they can do everything in-house, just like they were at home, but they have all the amenities and all the bells and whistles. This here would be one of our floor plans as far as the 8-bedroom. They're all pretty much almost the same as far as floor plan goes, just more bedrooms or less bedrooms. And then, of course, the 1 or 2 car garage. And these homes also come with the pool as having a jacuzzi, which a lot of them usually don't.
Which is
Right now, like I
actually
said,
really important for us as Canadians
yeah,
because
because
we don't get
yes,
that.
absolutely, absolutely. You
Yeah.
want to come down here and get out of that cold, Lord, absolutely. Definitely, yeah, and have like a hot, your jacuzzi time, you have your steam, you have your heat, you're ready to go, your wine.
That's it. And all year around, right? It's not just for a few
Exactly.
months. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So, like I said, our townhomes are starting in the 575-ish area. The 6 bedroom single family home is starting in the 730s, and the bigger homes are starting in the 830s as well. We have great incentives, like I said. Give us a shot, give us a call, come see, come check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Hmm.
This is our site map here. As you can see, this is our final phase. The red ones are the ones that have been sold already. The yellow ones are our inventory, currently ready to go. And then the blue ones, we're under construction currently. They've already been spec'd out. We've already chosen everything to get the process going a little bit quicker as far as for permits and purposes. But yeah, we have plenty different floor plans for you. If you chose to go ahead and go into contract, we would need 10% at time of contract. That would go ahead and remove the home from inventory and lock in the pricing for you and lock in the incentives as well. The HOAs, pretty much the HOA will cover almost everything for you except for the actual individual units, electricity and water, personal use of water. So you're looking at trash, internet, Wi-Fi, cable, pool service, landscaping. If you chose to go with a townhome, it would cover the roofing and structural wise as well. And we work with so many preferred lenders. I know that Puja, you have preferred lenders that you deal with as well, and we do as well. So there'll be no problem for you to go ahead and contact somebody to get that pre-qualification going. And like I said, if you can close before November, it's $100,000 that you have to work with. So whether that be lowering the price, closing costs, lowering your interest rate, we go ahead and work those numbers out for your benefit and work them the way that you need to as a buyer that would help you to qualify.
No, thank you, Maria. I just want to specify the $100,000 bonus. Like Mattamy usually does not give such a big bonus, so this is a huge incentive.
Correct.
Yeah, actually, in your first phases, you guys weren't even giving any incentives, right? So everyone
Mm-mm.
kind of purchased at
Nope.
full price. So this is
Correct.
excellent. If you guys are in the market, this is definitely something I would look into right away. And I also want to clarify HOA because a lot of our Canadians aren't familiar with HOA fees. So I just want to tell you that it's basically the same thing as our condo fees. You pay this monthly, but it literally takes care of all the amenities, so you don't have to do anything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's about it. I've got a few pictures here of me at the community. We actually go to Florida, me and my husband, almost every other month. Florida is our second home, specifically Orlando. So if you ever have any questions or want to come meet us out there, feel free. But at this time, I want to open the floor if anybody has one, or maybe we'll take two questions on this community in particular, so Maria can help answer that. So if you have any question, if you want to just maybe type a one in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll move on to our second project. Okay, so someone's asking, is Maria, for the Solera
Yes.
project, is it a freehold condo sale?
So you own it. You own the house, you own the property. It is yours, regardless. It's yours.
Yeah, so freehold in terms of here in Toronto. So no, this is not a full freehold home in terms of there's no condo fee. In Florida, what you're going to find different is any community that you purchase in, there is always an HOA fee. Communities that have a lot of amenities, you have a bigger HOA, kind of similar to Solera, where it's $500-600 a month. Communities
Mhm.
that have less amenities maybe have a $200-300 HOA fee. But I've seen communities that are literally standalone detached homes, and only because they're part of a gated community, they still have to pay something like around $100-150 a month to
Mhm.
maintain the private streets and the gated community. So this is very common in Florida. So even if you own a detached freehold home, You still have a small condo fee attached over there. But to answer your question, yes, you own the property, but it's not without a condo fee.
Correct. It's to take care of the common areas.
Okay, the second question is, does the HOA fee go up yearly? What has been the history, Maria, over the last few years?
So currently, it has not gone up recently in the last couple of years. Like I said, we have 813 units, so it's a lot of units to where it's been managed properly. And the reason is because at the end of the day, we have an on-site HOA office. So if there's any issues, any problems, or anything, you can always come and talk to somebody as well. But no, there's no history of it going up in the last several years for that intent and purpose.
Okay, and we have one last question that we're going to take on this project. Someone's asking what the minimum down payment.
So yeah, so deposit is one thing, and then down payment is another. Pretty much it's up to the buyer. A foreign national would generally be 30% down payment. Now, you as the buyer, if you chose to do more, that's in between you and the bank that you choose to go ahead and get your lending purposes taken care of through.
Yeah, and these are not pre-construction properties like we're used to in Toronto. These are inventory homes, right? They're ready to go. At the most, you might have to wait a couple of months for some of like the newer ones to
Correct.
finish, but they're ready to go. You can literally buy this month and have Christmas with your family at Solera.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's really quick, and things get built a lot faster in Florida, right? Your average
Mhm.
build time is 6 months to a year for any property. So we don't have those long-term closings. And sorry, one more
Correct.
question? Okay. One more question, Maria. Occupancy. What's the occupancy here? The typical numbers at Solera.
So currently, like I was saying, the management company is chosen by the owner. So there's various companies and people before they make their company. That management company is the one that's going to determine, your marketing is going to determine who, when, how long, pricing, all that stuff as far as your income. Because that is what it's for, is to draw income. But the management company would be the one to contact for that because each one is different. I can honestly tell you.
I can give you a little bit of an example from our clients who already have owned property in
Mhm.
Solera for the last 5, 6 years. And what I've seen is your high season time, so Christmas, March break, summer, it is solid booked, right? On average, I've seen occupancy from 75 to 85% in that community from at least our clients' examples. So it does sell out really fast, mainly because you've got so many amenities. And families, instead of, renting 2, 3 hotel rooms, if they have a big family, they'll come in and rent the entire house and then go to Disney during the day because you're literally only a 10-minute drive away, right? So occupancy in this community is really strong. To answer that question. And what I've seen typically from my experience as well, and one thing I want to mention is that we don't just recommend any project in Orlando. We handpick the top ones that we think A, will go up appreciation wise for our clients, and B, are easy to rent because we know majority of our clients do rent out the property when they're not there, right? So this is one of actually the top renting communities, and occupancy as well, but we can always connect you with property management.
Absolutely.
Do we have to use a US or Canadian lender for mortgage?
Okay, that question I will answer at the end. There's one more question, but we'll get into that after. Well, thank you so much, Maria.
Thank
And
you.
any other questions, we'll take them at the end of the presentation. So I'm going to move
Perfect.
into our Tranquility project. So one thing I want to tell you guys is there's two types of properties in Florida. One is long-term rental properties and one are short-term rental properties. Short-term rental properties are basically your vacation homes, homes that you Airbnb. Airbnb actually came out with Airbnb after Orlando did, I feel, right? Because short-term rentals have been in Orlando for hundreds of years. It's very common. So our projects that we're presenting today, all three of them do allow short-term rentals. So you can use it as an Airbnb vacation home property. And so I just wanted to clarify that at the front. So now we'll get into Tranquility Townhomes. Now, what makes Tranquility Townhomes different is if you're looking for a community that's a little bit more suburban and a little bit lower in price point, maybe not as many amenities, but in an excellent location nonetheless, this is a project I would highlight for you. So at this time, I would love to call Kendra onto the stage.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Kendra Russo. I've been with Zenodro Homes almost 6 years. Tranquility is our fourth community out of 7 when we're done with this location. We have super modern townhomes, and yes, as Puja explained, Airbnb is allowed, but we don't have any rental restrictions. So it's kind of mixed use. Our clients can rent it out as an Airbnb if they decided, hey, I want to take a break from the short-term rental market and put a long-term renter in there, they could, or if they ever needed to live in their property, they could do that as well. There's mailboxes on site. So Tranquility is inside Dream Resort. If you want to go to the next slide, Pooja, that would be great.
Do you want to play the
Oh,
video?
it's a video. Okay.
All right, let's go into the video.
So this is a video of our model homes. Everything you see in the video is how the model is delivered, minus the furniture. But with us, the project is pre-construction. So the clients get an opportunity to put their own personality on the homes. They're going to choose the cabinet color. Our countertops are quartz. They're going to choose the color for that. The flooring is a porcelain tile. They're going to choose the color for that. We always sell pre-construction because how fun is it to watch your home being built and see it kind of come to life? So as I said, Tranquility is our fourth community. Our first communities were Serenity, The Retreat, and Hidden Forest. If I'm not mistaken, Pooja, I believe you met our developer back in Serenity in our first community.
I have, yes, and we have clients in your first community as well.
So Zenodro Homes is a family-owned and operated developer. It's a husband and wife that started this company. They're on site all the time. The developer is out on construction, checking things, making sure that we are delivering what we're promising our clients to deliver. So it's a little bit different. For me, it's different working for a family builder because there's so much passion, and having the owners work just as hard as the rest of the team. I feel like it stands out when you walk through the homes. So we can go to the next community, the next slide. So we don't have single family homes. We only have townhomes. Our price point is from $549 to $594, depending on lot chosen. And we have 2 floor plans. We have our corner units are a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. They're 2256 square feet, so they're super spacious. Our interior units are a 3-3 plus loft at 2266 square feet. Both floor plans come with the screened-in lanai and private heated splash pool. And I have to say, I think the splash pool is most popular with the snowbirds that come. I know when it's super cold in Canada because I start seeing all the Toronto license plates in the community. So I think that splash pool, it's a perfect size for small children after a day at the parks to cool off, or in January. There's something about sitting in a jacuzzi in January that people love, especially that are from the colder areas.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nice option. We can go to the next slide. Okay, so our company's focus is not the number of homes that we're delivering. It's the quality of the homes that we're delivering. Our construction is concrete block on the first and second floor. Our windows are double pane impact proof. We do a spray foam insulation in between the attic area. All of these materials and the construction style save on the energy costs for the buyer. That spray foam insulation, it's going to cut your energy bill 30 to 50% per year. Our location. So it's okay. You can go to the location.
Okay. Yeah.
So our location, we're 8 miles from Disney World Resort. Miss Maria said miles as well. I don't say minutes because the minutes can be very different in the seasons. Christmas, it can take you 30 minutes, and then in a lower season, it can take you 20, but the miles will not change. So we're 8 miles from Disney World Resort. We're right on the Claremont Davenport line, so we're Lake County. It's a little different than a lot of the Polk or Osceola County short-term rentals. We have yes, exactly. That's our location. We have everything as well, that any kind of renter, whether it's short-term or long-term or living, would possibly need. There's a Publix very close. There's a Walmart very close. Above our location, you can see Olympus. You guys know the Disney and the Universal, so I'm not going to talk about that stuff. Olympus, you may not. It's a sports complex, very similar to ESPN. It's going to host sports competition, training venues. That's a pretty interesting project to do some research on, especially if you're considering this location. We are one of the closest short-term rental communities to it. It's about a 10-minute drive. This one is so close that I'll say the minutes. I don't mind. It's about a 10-minute drive. Again, golfing. Pooja, you kind of touched base on my presentation. There's tons of golfing. People come for a lot of shopping. Not everybody coming to Florida is necessarily coming for the parks. There's so many different things to do. They're going shopping, they're going to Universal, they're coming for an event at the convention center. I am a Connecticut girl at heart. And before I lived here, I had to travel with my husband to the convention center for a business event. We stayed in an Airbnb and we went to the parks with our children. So I kind of experienced that aspect of coming as a tourist. So there's a lot of things to do besides Disney. We can go to the next slide. Okay, so Zenodra Homes, we do things a little different. We do not have a CDD charge. You want to touch base on the CDD, Pooja, or I can do it?
Go ahead.
Okay, so it's a community development district fee. It goes along with the taxes. Not all the communities have them, but a lot of them have a CDD. We don't have a builder fee or a development fee at closing. We don't have any owner restrictions. We have a ton of buyers from Canada. You guys can read our reviews. You'll see them. They like the option of being able to come and live in their house if they need to and stay as long as they like. So the no owner restrictions has been a really big selling point for our community. And as Maria said, I don't have a property management. I don't handle the property management. I think most builders, some do, but most do not. I know everything you need to know about the house, the community, the purchase process, but the property management, I do not. And clients can interview a few, see who's going to best suit their needs, and go with anybody that they like. All the upgrades, so our buyer incentive, all the upgrades are included. The clients are just going to make the color selection. So we don't have you come in the model, it's very fancy. And then when we get to time to go under contract, everything that you like is an additional. It doesn't matter what you choose in design, the price is going to be the price. That's not going to change.
Yeah, I want to add a little bit to that actually. What our clients have loved about your community is that majority of the standard finishes are actually like the modern, nice finishes. So they haven't had to spend any additional money or barely any money to upgrade their home, right? That's one thing I really like. You can literally get the home as is and it will be beautiful. Basically, what you see here is what you get, right?
Yes.
You've got the black finishes, it comes included, the black appliances. It's really nice. And then your question to do with property management, that's where we come in. We have literally 5 different companies we've worked with for the last 10 to 15 years. We know which ones work well, which ones don't. So we kind of give you some options and then you guys, it makes it easier for you to choose who to kind of go ahead with. So Kendra, are we okay to go to the next slide?
Yeah, you can go
Yeah.
to the next slide. You know, your
Right.
clients, any clients that you work with are at a huge benefit that you have those relationships with the property management companies.
Yeah.
Okay, floor plans. So as I said, there's 2 floor plans. The Orel is our corner unit. It's the 4-3, 2256 square feet. Again, all the units have the private pool. It's screened in. So the corner units, they have more windows. But the Asher, the interior units, they have this spacious loft space when you get to the second floor that the corner doesn't. So right away, you know what you like better. You either love that loft space, the flexibility. It can be a game room, you can put a sofa bed, or you like the windows. So those are the two floor plans to choose from. Pretty easy. Both floor plans have a downstairs ensuite. I'm working now in the community. As you guys can see, I'm in our phase 3. We get a lot of people that come on vacation with a grandparent that can't necessarily get up and down those stairs. So that downstairs ensuite has been very beneficial to our owners for the renting purposes. We can go to the next.
Yeah, which is actually wonderful because in Canada here, we don't have a lot of homes that have en suites on the main floor. And that's a problem that a lot of our community is starting to face as, the population's getting older. So I love that you guys have added that to your floor plans. And here are the finishes.
Yeah, so these are the finishes, just to give you guys a little background on them. So the cabinets, they're not your regular cabinets, they're European soft close. Why soft close? Because people renting can be a little rough on things that is not theirs. So there's no slamming these cabinets. The tile floor is a wood look porcelain. The countertops are quartz. There's 4 color selections, as you can see. Whatever color you choose is going to have the waterfall edge and the full height backsplash. The windowsills will match as well. The bathroom wall tile, it's a textured porcelain stone. It goes all the way up to the ceiling. It's in big slabs, so minimal grout lines. We have carpet in the bedrooms. Our appliance packages are Samsung. There's either the black stainless or the regular stainless. Faucets, Moen, lifetime warranty. One of the things that I love about the faucets is you can kind of see it in the photo with the white kitchen. Whatever color faucet package you choose, the pendant lights are going to match, the doorknobs are going to match, the bathroom towel holders are going to match. All the finishes are going to match and flow throughout the entire house. Our homeowners association is $350 per month. It's going to include the interior water and sewer, the common area liability, the clubhouse membership. This is going to sound crazy. My favorite on this list is the trash valet service. We have a company that gets the bins, disposes of the garbage, puts the bins back behind the house. People on vacation are not going to do it. They don't care. They're leaving. So this keeps the community looking beautiful, keeps renters happy, keeps owners happier. So that's my favorite personal. We re-roof at the end of the roof life. We pressure wash as needed, painting every 5 to 7, landscaping of all the common areas. Now, the developer's wife is on the HOA board. So our HOA, just to get ahead of the question, I told you I've been here almost 6 years. It's only gone up one time, $50. Having the developer's wife on the board has been very beneficial for our homeowners and our community.
All right.
You're here, Puja.
Yeah. I always like to add these just to make it a little bit more real for our viewers. So that's me at the exact same community we're talking about, me here with Kendra, and you'll see the homes literally look exactly like the pictures we're showing you, right? It's a nice backdrop. So at this point, I would love to open the floor for any questions for Kendra on the Tranquility townhome. So if you want to just get your questions ready in the chat box and we'll answer those. One thing that my clients actually love about this community is the flexibility in it being a both short-term or a long-term rental community. I have clients that have long-term rental tenants. Every year they renew, just like in Toronto if you rent out a property. And then I have clients who are also using this as a short-term rental where they go enjoy it, 2-3 months out of the year, and then the rest of the time we Airbnb it out for them. All right, we got our first question.
What is expected completion date for the Tranquility?
Great question. What is expected completion date for Tranquility?
So right now I have a few different options. I have some units that are under construction, still have time to make selections and design that is going to be closing around February, March, the end of first quarter. The first floor block is done. And then the building next to that, you're looking at the beginning of second quarter. We are full blast in construction at this point. We're building out ahead. So definitely the first half of next year.
Okay. One thing I want to ask you, Kendra, is I know we didn't get into too much of the amenities. Which amenities are offered at Tranquility, just so everyone knows?
So, as I told you, Tranquility is our fourth community, it's our fourth phase. Every phase gets its own clubhouse. We don't have just the one grand one. And each clubhouse has a resort style pool, a jacuzzi, a gym, a game room. It's not the Disney resort like Miss Maria. It doesn't have the lazy river or the bar. But it's a apples to oranges
Yeah,
project.
which makes sense because your HOA fee is almost half, right? And that's what I was
Yeah.
explaining. The more the amenities, the HOA fee naturally will go up. But the number of amenities that you guys do have is actually perfect for someone just looking for that simple package, right? You still have your pool, you have a fitness center, you've got the meeting rooms, the game rooms area, and then you have your own pool in your own backyard, a private pool in every single townhome, which is excellent. Okay, and then, sorry? Oh, pricing for this community.
So right now, the interior units are at 549, and then I go all the way up to 594, depending for the corners, depending on the lot chosen. There's one remaining four bedroom that's under construction that they took 10,000 off the price. It's at 579. That's a really unique opportunity that I felt like it was important to mention.
Okay, great. And how's the deposit structure work?
So 10% at contract, and then it's a total deposit of 30%, which is pretty average for national. And then we can discuss a payment structure for the remaining 20%, but minimum 10% at contract to remove the unit.
Okay, great. Perfect. Okay, well, thank you so much, Kendra. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
So now we're going to get into our third and final project for this evening. So at this time, I would love to introduce to you Mr. Nick Lally and Sunset Cove Villas. What makes Sunset Cove Villas different than the other two projects we've presented is that it's the only project that's a true pre-construction the occupancy is not going to be until at least another year, year and a half. So if you want a project with a similar deposit structure to what you're used to here in Toronto, this is a project that is for you. Now, it does allow short-term rentals. It is in Kissimmee, Orlando, and I'll let Mr. Nick give the rest of the details. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good, good. How's everyone doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you for having me. First, I wanted to thank everyone for making the time today to learn about our project in Orlando real estate. And I want to thank Puja for putting together this webinar. My name is Nick Lawley. I'm Director of Sales here at Sunset Cove Villas, also known as Villas at Sunset Cove. Let's start with the video too. That'd be a good starting
Okay, let's
place.
do it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yes, let's start with the location of our project. So we are off of 192, which is a major highway in Orlando, very close to Disney. So we're exactly 6 miles away from the Disney entrance. So you could come outside of our project right there on 192, and then you go down Avalon Road, one turn, make another turn, and then you're entering the gates of Disney. So 6 miles from our project right into Disney. Also, you have 429 down the road of 192, which is another major highway. And then I-4 a little further down to get you to each coast, West Coast, camp area, and beaches on the East Coast as well. So we're in this Disney corridor as well. And we're right off of 192. So it takes you a minute to get to 192, and from there you can get to pretty much anywhere. Okay. We can go to the next one. So we have this modern look, as you can tell. We're also all townhome project. So when said and complete, we're 97 units. We just kicked off sales. So we're all pre-construction right now. Currently, the site, we finished all the site work. So the roads are in. All we have to do is build vertically. So the first two buildings and the clubhouse will be ready in summer of 2025. We only have one floor plan available, so it makes the options easy at our project. This is it right here. They're all 2,175 square feet. That's under air, so that doesn't include the pool area, which each unit comes with a pool as well, and the lanai. So with that, it's 2,350 square feet. So these floor plans were built with short-term rental capacity in mind. So with that, we have a master bedroom on the first floor as well as the second floor, as well as a second story loft, which is very important for rental. When vacationers come to Disney and Orlando, you can have the kids upstairs playing their video games and keeping them separate from the parents downstairs. So then you can also see in the back there's a lanai area, and we've added a half bath in the lanai. So people using the pool, when they come out of the pool, they can use the bathroom in the lanai, so they don't have to come inside the unit, being wet. So that's a nice feature. Also, there's a wet bar in the lanai. I guess I should explain the lanai a little more. So it's not inside; it's when you open your sliding door and it's covered, but you're still outside. So that's what we call the lanai. And then on the other side of lanai, we have the pool, which we've maximized space there to get the biggest pool in the back area. Also, we have 10-foot high ceilings on the first floor. So very nice open, floor plan with high ceilings. And also the second story has 9-foot high ceilings as well. So higher ceilings on the second floor as well for that premium feel. We have appliances are all included in your purchase. Refrigerator, washer, dryer, dishwasher, microwave, all that comes with the purchase. We'll have quartz countertops, shaker style cabinets. Another thing that makes our community very unique is that we have natural gas on site. So you'll actually be heating your pool up for the couple months or maybe month you need it. You could turn your pool into a hot tub, and with the gas, it will only take a few hours with the natural gas to get that warm. With electric heaters, it takes usually 24 hours. So you can get the pool pretty hot quickly, as well as all the water for the home. So all your hot water is coming from natural gas as well. So you shouldn't run out of hot water, or your guests will not either. And then lastly is the stove in the kitchen, the cooktop. That will be a gas stove as well, which is unique. So people that cook traditionally they like the gas better. And we went with we're going to go with Samsung appliances most likely. We talked to the rep there. He said safety concern with gas is totally fine. They have emergency switch off. So if anyone's wondering about that, we've already looked into that. Also, we have the valet trash. I know Kendra had mentioned that's going to be part of the HOA as well. I'll get into that later. Here's some renderings. This would be the master bedroom, the pool. So this is kind of the look we're going for, as you can see. This would be the living area, open floor concept. There'll be an island there. It's hard to tell, but yes, an island. Living room with the dining room table. Yep. So this is the community clubhouse, which we have as well. This would be the main living area in the community. There's a community pool back there as well. There'll also be a gym. Actually, it's my background right now, so I'm kind of sitting in the living room. There's a gym in the back too for people to use for your guests as well as owners. So we have nice amenities there as well. And this is the left picture will be the community pool. We have a nice pergola we're going to build. The wall is already up there for privacy. And then the top picture would be a picture from each one unit. Each unit will have this as their back porch. So this would be sitting in the lanai facing backwards. Okay, so go back that one. No problem. Okay, so like I said, so price range, we'll get into that. Right now, so we're pre-construction pricing, phase one pricing. We're going for $509,900 for an interior unit and $529,900 for an end unit. They're the same square footage, but with the end unit, you get, of course, more windows on the side. So it's a little premium. So we're charging a little more for that. So 509, 529. We have 20 units in the first phase. So the first two buildings are 10 units each. They will be delivered in summer of next year. So right now we're taking reservations. With the reservation, you give a $25,000 reservation deposit, sign the reservation agreement. This is refundable up until contract. So in 30 or 60 days from now, we'll have the contracts ready. And then once you review the contract and everything's fine, you give another the 5% balance, which makes it 10% total, including your $25,000 reservation deposit. That's when the money goes hard. And then we have an additional 10%, which we're flexible. We're giving up 4 months after that to come up with the last 10%. So you can phase that out as you wish. And then if you owe more, so if you have 30% that you need for your mortgage, then you would come up with the last 10% at closing. So we have it phased out pretty well. We also have some incentives. We have $15,000 towards closing costs or interest rate buy down. So you could use that either for closing costs or if you want to buy down your rate. If you use our preferred preferred lender, you get the $15,000. We also have a preferred management company. With them, they are paying half the HOA fees. So our projected HOA fee, our budget is $300 a month. So with that, you get the valet trash. We're also gated, so you'll have gate access. So that'll be included in your HOA is the maintenance for the gate. Cable and internet will be included in there. All the maintenance, the landscaping, the common areas, the pest control, the valet trash service, as I mentioned as well, and all the clubhouse and amenities, maintenance and upkeep. We're also looking to add pickleball courts, which is a very popular sport now in America. Sure
Even over here, it's super popular here too now.
I'm sure it's catching on in Canada. So that's just great amenity for, owners as well as, renters looking. I mean, people are so crazed by it. I think that having it in our neighborhood will help attract renters as well. Okay, we went over that. 6 miles from Disney.
Yeah. So we've basically gone over most of this. Do you want to explain the extended deposit structure one more time? Yeah,
so
I understand it's $25,000 down at signing and then
correct.
balance of 5%?
Yeah, so the balance is 10%. So so it's 25,000 represents almost 5%. Then so it's gonna be 10% at contract signing, including your 25,000 you've already paid. So the balance of which would be close to another 25,000. So it'd be 10% total at contract signing.
Okay, perfect. So we've actually just introduced this project. It's brand new. It has not been released fully to public yet, right, Nick? So this is
Correct.
basically you're getting in the first phase of this project. What is the HOA fee of this community approximately?
So we're budgeting for $299 a month. And I'll go over that incentive as well. So we have a preferred management company called Upstay. So if you go with them, they will pay half the HOA fees for the lifetime of the contract. So that's the incentive they're offering by using them. So they're just a preferred management company. You can use whoever you like. We're not, it's open management. You can manage yourself. You can find your own management company. But we partnered with them to be the preferred management company because they're close by. They manage over 400 homes and they do a really good job. And they have great furniture packages as well. So they're a great standard. So if you go with them, they're offering to pay half the fees from their side at this project exclusively.
That's amazing. So half off of your HOA for the entire life of the project.
Yeah, and also we do not have a CDD as well, so you won't be paying that special tax either here. Just the HOA and property taxes were in Polk County, a little less than Osceola County and Orange County, of course. So that's our municipality.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Nick. We're going to actually open the floor if anyone has questions for our Sunset Cove project. We'll take them in the chat box right now. And pricing, you said we're starting at?
509.
509. Okay.
So that's first phase. So as we sell, we're gonna increase prices naturally as we sell through. So this is, the introductory pricing.
Right.
And then once we get contracts, just 30, 60 days, we'll probably increase pricing.
Okay. Okay, what about
Yes, that come in. So it's going to be carpet on the second level. It's going to be luxury vinyl plank on the first floor.
and the pool will come covered like this, right? That we see in the picture?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the screen that'll come with the home, as well as the pavers in the back
Yeah.
for that
And
premium
that's in all
feel.
three of the communities that we've presented. It's very common in Florida just to keep the bugs out.
It's a
Um,
must.
yeah, it's a must, exactly.
Mosquitoes will get you.
Okay, great. Well, beautiful. I am going to now move along, and then in a couple of minutes, we're going to open up the floor for any questions. Thank you so much, Nick. And now we'll get right into our fly and buy program. So if you do decide you want to be in Florida, you want to check out these projects first, this is a program that we exclusively offer at KAPS Realty Group, where you can go ahead up to 2 people, see the projects. Again, we have our team on the floor over there. You can go see multiple projects. And if you decide to buy, the price of basically your flight and hotel up to a maximum amount will be reimbursed to you at closing. Now, I know the projects that we talked about today, all 3 have been brand new builder projects. I do want to mention we do resale properties there as well, and we've got our team to help you out. So if that's something that you're looking for, if there's something maybe like a different area, we do it all throughout Florida. So do reach out to us. We can help you out. And at this time, I want to open up the floor to all questions. If there's anything that we haven't answered, and maybe I'm going to actually go over a couple of the top questions we get, because we've done hundreds of these seminars and webinars in the past, and there's typical questions we always get from our Canadian clients. So we'll open up the floor. Otherwise, I'm going to go into the first question. Any questions? No? Okay. All right. Let's go to the first one I've got. Number 1 question we always get, what are the closing costs in these projects, right? So now how we answer this is 2 parts, because it really depends if you're buying a property all cash or if you're using a mortgage / financing. If you're buying a property all cash, how you can do that as a Canadian is A, if you have the funds available, great, or B, use your line of credit to purchase your property in Florida. What that does is saves you in financing closing costs. So there's 2 types of closing costs. One's your builder closing cost, which is approximately 2% or so of your purchase price. And then if you do end up using mortgage or financing from the bank, they usually charge you an additional 2% of closing costs. That's what we've seen typically. Second question we always get has to do with taxes, right? There's a lot of media out there and a lot of confusion. Oh. I think someone unmuted themselves. So there's a lot of confusion that, if you buy a property in Florida, you get double taxed and you're going to pay a lot more taxes. So basically what happens, and again, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I am not an accountant, right? You do please consult your own accountant for detailed advice, or you can always reach out to one of our cross-border specialists. But what's happened with our properties that we own, as well as a lot of clients, is there's 2 types of taxes you're going to come across. So if you own one of these short-term rental properties or even a long-term rental property, first you're going to have to pay tax on any income that you make in Florida, right? You record that income in your Canadian tax return under worldwide income, and you're also legally required to file a US tax return. It's a simple return, it's 2 pages. Again, we have specialists that can help you if your own accountant is not able to do that. So you're just gonna tag on that income with your current income and you pay according to your own tax bracket. The second type of tax that you're going to incur is if you sell your property, all right? Once you sell your property, the only difference between owning an investment property in Toronto here versus Florida is that when you sell a property in Florida, you get charged something called a withholding tax. Now that withholding tax is only temporary, because what happens is the CRA and the IRS, they work together and they want to make sure that you are recording your capital gains, if any are made, into your Canadian tax return. As soon as you record them into your Canadian tax return, you file your returns, CRA is okay with everything, your withholding tax is credited back to you. So that's typically how it works. So you're not charged any extra tax. They just want to make sure you're paying your taxes here or there, right? And again, everyone's situation is a little different. It differs if you own one property in Florida. It differs if you have a portfolio of properties in Florida and, you know, any other investments you own. But that's typically the situation. So are you double taxed? Not necessarily, right? And owning a property in Florida is actually super simple. Like I've told you, we've owned for over 20 years. Tons of our clients have done this for the first time. And some of our clients, actually one of the clients that you saw in the Solera picture, that client started with us back in 2010. And since then, he's bought 6 other properties with us almost every other year. And now he's actually going to go back and we're going to help him build his custom dream home as he retires from Toronto. So a lot is possible. If Florida is the lifestyle you're looking for, we can totally help you out and guide you in the right direction. Any other questions so far? No? Okay, so I'll keep going. Income tax we went over. And the last question we get is, if you buy a property in Florida, first of all, I get asked, can you buy as a Canadian? Yes, you can buy as a Canadian, right? Then I get asked, if I buy a property, does that mean I can get a visa in Florida? No. Again, you have to consult an immigration lawyer, but typically how it works is if you buy a property in Florida, how long you can only stay in Florida is up to 182 days. And the way they calculate it, you have to be careful because it doesn't necessarily have to be consistent 182 days. You just got to make sure basically you don't cross that 6-month mark. Otherwise, you will lose your OHIP. And B, actually skip this question. Oops, I went right into the OHIP, didn't I? The last question, the visa. If you buy a property, that does not mean you qualify for a Florida visa or a US visa. There's a lot more involved in that. You can ask, it's called an EB-5 visa actually. You can ask your immigration consultant about that. But no, buying a property does not in its own allow you to get a visa, but you can, yes, use your property, you know, for your own pleasure and preference. And again, up to that 182 days a year. So if there's no other questions at the moment, I would love to thank you all for coming out. Again, we are here to help you with anything that you need with your transition to Florida. If you're thinking now or in the future, whether it be a residential property, whether you want to become a snowbird, whether you want to invest in maybe commercial property with us, Florida, like I told you, is our second home. Our team is here to help. We've got wonderful builder partners, wonderful developers that we work with, and we do all the heavy lifting for you. We've already researched our communities, we've researched the locations, and we want to make this transition as smooth as possible so you can basically sit back as either an armchair investor or an armchair snowbird. So at this time, I'd like to thank you all for coming. I'd like to thank Maria, Kendra, Nick. Thank you so much. And sorry, we're getting a question?
Can you get access to the recording?
Oh, access to the recording. Yes, we will send you that over probably tomorrow. But any questions, let us know, reach out. And thank you once again and enjoy your beautiful evening. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.